tough.
Brenna rocks. It's always a
It's rocking.
Perfect.
Rocks.
All right, a little delayed, 7:04, so I'll call the meeting to order.
See, they walk.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Yes.
All right, did everybody have a chance to go over the minutes and the bills? We have two meetings on there, February 10th and February 19th. So do I have a motion to approve the February 10th and February 19th along with the bills?
Make a motion to approve February 10th and February 19th minutes and the bills.
I have a first by Julie, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is that Billy?
Yes.
Second by Billy, public comment? Board comment?
Yes,
Yes.
one question. Not to put any more on your plate, but how come the payroll is not in our bills anymore?
I didn't know that Whitney put payroll in the bills.
Okay.
I didn't used to, because, is it okay if I'm answering?
Oh, totally, yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't-
okay,
Actually, Darcy almost had it can go in, but it would be last month's, because we have
right,
to run.
Right.
no, and,
And it's contract, the reason that I didn't include payroll in the bills or in Wiz, because it's all under contract, how much we're paying, so, the board has signed the contract, but it can be included, it certainly can be.
okay, and I can remember before when you were here that you did or did not include it. I guess it's a habit I got used to it, and I thought, oh,
It's
not
really
in
not,
here.
it's not hard, wouldn't be hard to do.
okay.
So, if you guys,
And I know you guys are busy.
it's one more report to run. so.
Yeah, so don't, if
But it
it's,
would have to be the prior month,
sure, no, that's okay.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fine.
don't, if it's more on your plate, don't do it, just for me. Maybe I'm the only one that looks at it, I don't know.
It's up, whatever the board wants, just let Darcy know, so. But it can,
I pay more
Yeah,
attention to the.
I normally just look at the bills,
Okay,
but
but the reason I didn't include them and Becky tweeted in before me was just because the contracts for payroll are there and the board has approved the contracts. So, I mean, if we're doing anything outside of the contract, it needs to be brought to the
right,
board.
so don't put it in there, and if I wanna sit, I'll just come, cause
Okay,
that's public knowledge, correct? Yeah,
Yes,
I'll just come in and
but it can
Yeah.
be.
look, so
Yeah,
don't,
and interrupt
yeah.
their day. Every other day? Is that what you're saying? You'd be interrupting their day, they're
Oh,
working.
well,
And
there
then
is
stop.
that, I know.
so you're okay with it not being in there?
Yeah,
For now.
cause I'm the only one that's
Okay.
striping, so. Leave it out.
Yeah.
You know, you asked a question.
Yes.
Right.
No, it's easy either way.
Okay.
any other board?
No.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. PTSO report?
I have a little bit of PTSD
Perfect.
in mind, so if you want me to just,
Just combine them.
okay. I'll read what Laura had posted to us today in email. BPA had an extremely successful trip beginning Sunday evening. In Billings, out of 14 students who qualified for the state level competition, our school had a great showing at the state stage. McKenna, Elijah, Remy, Jordan, Andrea, Brooklyn, and Noah placed in the top 10 for their competitive events at the conference, which is an impressive feat. To move on to national, students have to place in the top 3 for judged events and top 5 for tests. Remy Dietz placed 3rd in her individual presentation, and Elijah Barnett took the state championship title for testing. We also have one middle school student, Carly Fennell, who already placed in the top 10 for the national level. Officers may also elect to intern at the national conference to learn more about behind the scenes of the events. Last but not least, our local chapter president put in many dedicated hours to apply for the prestigious state officer position. And it sounds like he won. He's the communications director, is Elijah, for the 25-26 school year. So that's exciting. And then I'll just move on to the rest of it. We went to Battle of the Books today. To be able to do that, I wrote 3 mini grants. 2 were to, one was to the Spectrum Science Center, and they did some physics experiments with us today. And the second one was to the Insectarium and Butterfly House. And so they brought bugs to us, and so the kids experienced cockroaches and beetles and stick bugs and all kinds of wonderful things. And then we had some time to play in the STEM area before we did Battle. The kids did really well at Battle. I was really proud of them. There were 19 teams for the 5th and 6th area, which is, I've never heard of that many teams ever. So that was pretty great to see a good showing. We took 4 kids in the 5-6 team and 2 for 3rd and 4th with us today. A team can only be composed of 4. 3 kids compete at one time with 1 alternate. And so we have started science state testing this week. I'm hoping to wrap that up, if not this week, into next, and for grades 5 and 8. Alternate tests are to follow. For grades 3 through 8, our state testing changed. It used to be Smarter Balance. This year, they changed it to what is called MAST. And so there are 12 testlets for each grade level for math. And we had to have those scheduled and in place before, it was right around mid-September. It was kind of a challenge because we also have a new math curriculum. So teachers had to think ahead of where they were gonna be in that curriculum at each part of the year in September without ever having taught that curriculum before. So we got those scheduled. We are now into our 3rd test window, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Each window has usually 2 ELA, 1 informational and 1 literary. The middle of the year test has an additional writing performance. So what it's meant to do is, you know, back in the day, we'd test the kids like 1 week in the spring, and they'd have to remember everything that they were taught all year. So in some ways, this is good because it gives better data, I feel like. And also, the teachers teach usually the lesson, and then the kids test on it. So it's valid, it's in their mind, and hopefully can remember that and do well in those tests. So yeah, parents can access those scores through the parent portal in MAST, and I have a newly developed website on my website for all assessment information with that. And pre-ACT is coming up on April 8th, so the sophomores, I sent them some practice information and test tips this week for that. And April 9th is our ACT, and the content area teachers and Miss Allen have been working with the juniors to prepare for that through a ACT prep course with them. Like I said, the 3rd MAST window starts March 24th. Read It, which is, some of you are parents and know it from back in the day, but it's the teachers have a goal for the classroom for reading each night, and then the kids get it signed off by the parent. They bring in their sheet at the end of the month, and they get a $10 coupon to a restaurant in town to enjoy. They additionally also will be put into a drawing for a bike that I asked the Optimist Club if they would fund that, and they did. And so this year there's enough money for 3 bikes, and the kids will, once they're drawn, they'll be able to go to the hardware store and look through the catalog and find the one that they like and the color and the style and the whole thing. And then Dean at the hardware store gives it to us at his wholesale, and also volunteers to put them together for us. So good collaborative effort there. And on April 3rd, I'll be having a book fair during parent-teacher conferences. The PTSO and the Optimist Club are gonna collaborate to have dinner for the families, staff, and anybody who comes, if you guys are around, so you can have dinner that evening. The PTSO is also graciously, they're giving each kiddo pre-K through 12th a $5 coupon to, be used towards the purchase of a book at the book fair. So, yeah. Did I forget
Cool.
anything?
Did you say PTSO is doing that or Optimus?
PTSO and Optimus are gonna do dinner together. I think PTSO is gonna,
Doing the book fair,
I'm doing the book fair.
right, but they're donating $5.
Yeah, $5 coupons for the kids towards the purchase of a book. Not the little erasers and the pens, a book. But yeah. So,
Thank you, Joni.
you're welcome.
No students here? Andrew's probably sleeping too. All right, any public comments from the board?
Oh, sorry, I'm sleeping. Not really.
Me too, so we'll just join the club.
Uh-oh,
Oh,
sorry,
shoot,
Joni.
I spilled my tea.
I made you do that.
Oh, it's okay. You know, if that's the worst thing that's
None.
spilled in this
Easy
room, we're doing
peasy.
pretty good.
And to be
Alright.
clear,
Any action items?
Nope.
Nope. Informational?
The calendar of events.
Perfect. Shane, you have an AV update for Shane?
The update for Shane. He just wanted to say that the girls' basketball and the boys' basketball teams both had a great season, and he's proud of all the work that the kids did and all the support he had from the community. Track started Monday. We either have 16 or 17 out for track right now. And then, to approve, junior high head and assistant track coaches. He said the ad has been posted on the website for about 10 months. He had 2 applicants, Peyton Peterson for the head and Nathan Brown for the assistant, for junior high track.
Do I have a motion to approve Peyton for the head, junior high assistant, or no, junior high head track coach, and Nathan for the assistant, junior high assistant track coach?
I'll make a motion for both of them.
Scott has the first motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Doug has a second. Public comment? Board comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carried.
Thank you, and junior high track practice will start on the 24th.
Of March?
Yes.
Okay. All right, clerk's update.
sorry. So I'm continuing to work with Carol to get the 25-26 budget updated using the budget prep in Mountain Software. And then there are many things for election day coming up on May 6th. The first is the deadline for filing petition for the school board trustee. That deadline is March 27th. And as I mentioned before, we just have one person, Merlene Lumpkin, who's turned in her petition for that. And then April 3rd is the last date for a write-in candidate, and last day candidates can withdraw their petition for that. Sorry, I can't say that word. And then on April 4th, if no petitions, the trustee election portion of the election will be canceled. And notice of cancellation must be given no less than 30 days before the election. And if trustee election is not held, because it's canceled, or we just get that one, then the trustee shall declare elected by acclamation the candidate who filed for the position and for the candidate who filed for that position, and then they'll receive a certificate of election. So she would just be elected by acclamation. And then for reference, I created a trustee stagger worksheet that I handed out, because I'm a visual person, so it helps me to kind of keep track of who's up for election and who's not, and, you know, where you guys stand, and so it's just helpful. It's small, but helpful. And then, we notified, via a letter, sent to election judges of the appointment for, running the election. So as soon as, hopefully we'll find out as soon as possible whether they want to accept that appointment. If not, then we have others who, we can reach out to. So we'll be working on that in the future. And then I'm currently, let's see. And then the next steps for the election is, on April 4th, we have to prepare and certify the final ballot listing all the candidates and the prepositions and the levy and all that. So I'll work with the county election administrator and get that turned in by April 4th. And then we're currently working with Carol, Alyssa, Michelle, and Kathy to get the summer food program in place for this summer. And we had a technical assistant review Zoom meeting with Carol, Alyssa, and Michelle for the school nutrition breakfast lunch program in preparation for the upcoming audit this coming fall. And they gave us some really great tips and things to work on so we can be better prepared for the audit. And then I also attended a CRIS, which is a criminal records and identification services section training. And that will help the superintendent, and I think Sarah's gonna take that training too, with future background checks, so that there's just more accountability. And then continuing to work with, through staff contracts to make sure all are in place for the, at the appropriate step. And I think that's all. I can't really talk today, so I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm done, so thank you very much.
I'm gonna talk for a minute now as well. And I will say, Darcy said she's working on making sure staff placement and contracts are, she's been going through all the files to make sure we've got documentation for every year. There seemed to be some missing, so she's done a lot with that. But I also included in the packet, I received an email with a letter from the Department of Administration that, well, basically it said that it rejected my plan for correcting the issues with last year's audit. So I had to put together a more detailed plan for that. And then I also had to, and even after that, they still wanted more, so I had to write down the last page was a training document, making sure that, they don't want us ending up in the negative again at the end of the school year, so, which won't happen again. But anyway, I just wanted to include that because I also want you guys to understand that I will be leaving to go back to Oregon after this payroll. But I'm going to stay involved, and that only gave me one more reason why. Darcy is learning very, very quickly. She's wonderful. But it's just, there's a lot to a clerk's job, and it's gotten harder every year. Would you agree with
Yeah, there's
me
a
that
lot.
it's a lot?
Yeah.
You can come look at her four notebooks, thick, free-reading binder notebooks of notes.
Yeah.
So, I guess I just want you to understand that I'm gonna continue working with her. I'm going to be back in end of May or June to help her close out the year, and I will also be back in August to help make sure we've got the trustees done and budget set for next year. And I will continue to work with her if and when she ever has a question. Because you have a very good person here. And when, I'm also gonna say this, because I can, when we hired her at a lower rate, till she could get her training. I think it's in May, she'll be at her 6th month, and please give her a raise. And I know, I'm just saying, I guess it's, I said, with the superintendent, that we have to have the person, and we need to pay whatever that is to make sure we get a good person, and your clerk is, I think, you realize that you can't function without a clerk, so. So that's my speech for that. I also wanted to just give you're gonna talk about 25-26 budget? Or can I give a quick update on that? Okay. All right, Darcy and I have been working on the 25-26 budget. We did get our budget data sheet, and it was basically worthless, like we said it would be, because they're not including the 3% that the state is very likely to pass for inflation, so that'll bring it up. And then, I'm not gonna go into this a lot, but we are dealing with something called the STARS Act that probably will pass. And they want to get, teachers' starting wages up to 41,615. So, we had talked to Brenna about we've been doing some brainstorming with our teaching staff, trying to figure out how and if we can make it work. But basically, if that passes, we would get extra funding to do it, and if we don't do it, we won't get any of the extra funding. That's probably about $85,000. So, we're trying to work on that. Just giving you that heads up, but I guess I just want you to understand, we're basically gonna be short this next school year. We're just working with Kathy, trying to figure out what we can do and solutions. And then, we will be, of course, coming to the board, and also, whoever ends up being in negotiations will give a lot better explanation on the STARS Act. But the other thing to know with that is we will have to commit to it by May 15th if it passes. We don't have to have it set in stone on what the negotiations are gonna be, but it is something that we've gotta keep on the radar. We will have to come to that agreement. So I don't wanna go into details on the budget because we're still working on it, but I just want you to know Darcy and I are working diligently. And the budget data sheet our budget was down 20,000 from last year, but it also is going to change, so it's pretty much worthless information. So I think that's all for the clerk update. I did have an item on there from last board meeting. We passed the proclamation to increase or do an amendment on our retirement budget, and I guess we need to pass the amendment tonight, and then with this kind of budget amendment, you have to have a proclamation. It's been posted for a month, and now we can pass the amendment. And if you want another explanation for why we need to do this, just let me know.
Any questions for you? No? All right, do I have a motion to approve the budget amendment resolution?
Is that included in here?
Yep,
It
it's
is.
one of the,
It
closer to
is.
the back.
We had a bill come in that was from last year, and we also, I knew when I raised the, retirement budget as much as I could, I knew we were gonna be tight, because we have had a lot of employees that had to move off of our COVID grant, our literacy grant, and our 21st century grant. And when you move from that to the general fund, your retirement budget goes up, because the other grants are paying for the retirement. So, I have approved it through OPI and the county superintendent. I've called them to let them know that that we are going to be asking for this, and they did not have a problem with it. Basically, if we don't increase our retirement, it's gonna need to come out of the general.
motion to approve the budget amendment resolution.
Julie has first, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Billy seconds. Public comment? Board comment? All in favor, say aye. I didn't see Doug's right there. Okay. Motion carried. All right.
I've only done one budget amendment in all the years I've been here, and so this is our second, but the first one was a gift, so. It was, 30,000 in the general fund for significant enrollments.
Thank you.
And then Darcy went over all the election stuff.
All right. Superintendent update?
Okay. It's been a busy month between basketball, BPA, and all the other activities that have been going on. But we still have our heads above water, so we're doing good. And then I would like to thank the PTSO, the Optimist Club, Council for the Arts, Lincoln Athletic Club, and Annette for pounding the pavement and our new sign out front. So, it's very nice, and it finally got here and installed, and Sarah and Derek have been going through the training. They took the training way back in August, and then with manufacturing that they had to do with the sign, and it wouldn't fit, and they had to do some other things. It finally got up last week, and it was really exciting to stand up and all the kids would come in the library and look out and watch, and so it's gonna be very nice, and they'll be able to run different events and things like that on it to notify the public, so it's nice to have a sign out there again. It's a lot better than the reader board that we had years ago, that when the wind came up, the letters would disappear out of the book, so it's very nice, and it's very much appreciated. I'm working with Curtis right now on scheduling some elementary basketball practice and games for kindergarten through fourth grade. We're gonna go up to fourth grade because fourth grade did not participate in junior high this year. So he's looking at that, we're trying to get dates. Guess we're already working on the preliminary budget and trying to figure out that and the STARS Act with the staff. The accreditation report is done and submitted. Submitted a literacy grant today, and have our fingers crossed on that one. And Joni was a great help, writing and reviewing, and I don't know how many times we edited and sent information back and forth, and I really appreciate her help on that. We got great news today from Haley Gilbo. She was accepted into the counseling program and got the full scholarship.
Awesome.
So that's very exciting, so she'll start all of her counseling stuff. I don't think it starts this spring, I think it starts next fall. So she's very, very excited about that. Next week, PTSO is doing Teen Week for grades 7 through 12. And they have treats every day, and then I believe it is Wednesday, they are doing an activity for 7th through 12th grade. And then I guess my next thing would be to start on handbooks, so we're just rocking right along. And that's all I have.
Perfect. All right, the mill levy?
So I've gone back and forth on this and asked Darcy to work with the county and figure out what it would cost for a mill in this community and where we were at. And in looking at it, my recommendation would be to go for a $50,000 mill levy. It increases the mills, about 10.48. If you take the middle, the $300,000 market value of a house, it raises taxes $42.44, which is approximately $354 a month. And I think that is an amount that people could do, or maybe could get behind. And it would help the district next year with the budget where we're at.
So when we put this out, cause I know that we were discussing putting it in the mailboxes and stuff, can we break it down like that for the community?
Yep.
Just, okay.
Yep, and, I think on the third page, I just put maybe something to
Yeah.
put in the newsletter, hang around town, give to people, go visit with organizations and stuff, so that people understand exactly what it is, what it would be for, and it would be to supplement the general fund budget, basically.
When was the last time we increased? In years, I thought.
Is this safety levy was the last one we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So, 2013? 2013?
was it, were you here when we did that one?
I don't remember.
Well, I mean, honestly, you've been here, you're here always, but
No.
I was wondering if you were retired. It was somewhere between 2013 and 2016, somewhere in there. I will.
It's been a while, and, I mean, we have been very diligent on being conscious about where we are budget-wise and trying to live within our means. It's just gotten to the point that we're behind.
Does this levy come off? Or is it stays, right?
It stays. Mhm.
Unless the
What?
legislature
Yeah,
changes.
there's a bill right now in the legislature, it would come off in 10 years and you'd have to redo all your levies. So, it could be a nightmare. And I'm not sure where the status is on that.
I
but
think
keep
it
going.
failed.
Yeah, the second reading.
I think it might not move forward, but it just barely,
Mhm.
and I was very concerned about it. It was like, and they wanted to make it to where if you had less than 40% show up to vote, that even if it did pass, it wouldn't pass. And
Really?
you know, how close our, you know how close our vote is.
Mm-hmm.
I know the last one passed by 2 votes.
So we're asking for 50,000.
Yes.
No levy amount, okay.
That would be the recommendation.
Do I have a motion to approve the $50,000 mill levy amount?
I'll make a motion to approve the mill levy.
Motion from Scott, do I have a second?
I'll
Fight over it. Doug has a second. Public comment? Board comment?
What is your thought about adding a little blurb on here that the market value of their home from their tax statement and not?
Yeah,
I see a lot of confusion in my job on that, so.
How do you mean?
we can edit this, I was just trying to get something down that we could discuss and go through.
So this is the market value that they look at of your tax bill, instead of, let's say, a realtor would give you a market value.
Oh, I see,
or
okay, yes.
It's listed
So
for.
people, I see where the confusion, okay, gotcha.
Any other board
Yeah,
comment?
and it does say market value.
There's a way to clear it up, in a maker and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have some wording,
Visit with her, I'm good.
Yeah.
we'll chat. Okay, thanks, Julie.
All right, all in favor say aye.
All right,
All right, the best part. Approved superintendent contract. Yay! All right, do I have a motion, to approve the superintendent contract? Did you guys all get to see it?
Which, no. But which superintendent?
The one that's here today, Tom.
Something.
The only one that everybody voted for. All of us just look. Did you find housing?
I'm initiating that discussion.
Forgive my ignorance, but what is that? Lincoln School District of Twin Bridges?
Eyeballs.
I didn't read that part.
Good eyeballs.
I
That
mean,
was.
maybe there's something I don't know.
Yeah, we're switching.
No, he's not going to.
No, you're not going
No.
to.
Grab a hold of him.
Yeah, we got that from Melissa. about the-
Yeah,
Yeah, I, what was sent to me had, I didn't catch that. Obviously, she's working on multiple contracts, so
Okay.
I
we were
did,
not sending you to Twin Bridges. You didn't contact her about that.
be a little
Good job,
further
Scott.
to me.
Well, that's, I guess if I do one thing right on the board.
That's why we keep you around.
Yeah,
The state Twin Bridges in there, any other things?
Yeah, I guess look.
Highlight them all.
If there are things
We
need
just
to
looked at it and went, yes.
We can
He
approve it
accepted,
with
perfect.
changes.
Approve it with the changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll change it into Lincoln School instead of Twin Bridges.
Wow.
Does she have to pay $500
Yeah. Now there's a good idea.
Hold on, but if we split with Twin Bridges, do they have to pay half?
That's accurate. I mean, no, we're just kidding. That'd be such a long, can you imagine? That drive.
Well, we wouldn't let them go that far.
It's not a lot actually.
They just have to send us the money.
Right,
Not easy.
right. I like this idea.
I should look
It's
at
an
what
interest.
those are.
Yeah, me too. I just saw that he,
Good job, Scott.
yeah.
I guess you gotta, I mean, put in for another 3-year term.
This,
Didn't see anything else.
Yeah, make sure you look over and highlight anything that says any other school.
Scott, where was that? Cause
The very first sentence,
Yeah.
holy crud, I missed that. It's right there.
You didn't know you were signing up to be superintendent of 2 schools.
I thought it was better than
okay.
that.
Next sentence ended at a period. I might have run.
Well, I couldn't remember where the period was at.
Well, there's no real period. It's a really long
Okay.
sentence. There's a lot of comments in there.
We're all really tired.
So if we just amend it to remove of Twin Bridges, I think it reads the way it's supposed to. Okay.
All right, do I have a motion to approve that with the amendment of it removing Twin Bridges and does everybody approve of that? Do I have a motion?
I will make a
to
motion to
that?
approve the contract if we make the amendment to remove Twin Bridges.
I agree, okay. Do I have a
Just
second?
Lincoln Public Schools.
Thank you.
Yes.
Second.
Scott has a second. Any public comment? Board comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
What is SOAP?
Didn't even look.
Yeah, me neither.
Figured it lawyer.
There we go. So I won't sign that just yet. We'll have,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if we got, did we get the digital copy?
Or is it just, I think it's just,
No, we got just the copy with his signature on it.
right,
So she would have to
She would
redo
have
it,
to-
send it back to Tom for his signature and then send it back to her.
Or
Or
if
just
you
send a
don't,
new-
I think,
Remove it.
I think what she sent me, I can edit.
Okay.
So I can go home, edit that out.
We should still probably notify her, cause she probably has this in her
right.
lawyer file somewhere too. We should probably read over that a little. Okay, her,
Yeah, sorry.
approved.
I'm sorry.
So, no, sorry, I missed it.
You need board comment?
We were just
You
doing
already
the
went there?
dance.
We
Yeah,
break
good,
it.
good. I told you guys, I haven't slept in like 3 days.
I was like, we're gonna vote again?
Where are we?
I was saying, aye.
I just wanna go to sleep.
How many votes does this one take?
Obviously more than one, because we can't figure out where we're at. All right, driver's ed? Moving right along.
Okay, I'd like to recommend George Pierce for driver's ed teacher this year, and a salary of $5,500.
I saw that in here. It was in here. All right, do I have a motion to approve George Pierce as the driver's education teacher with an amount of $5,500?
Make a motion to approve George Pierce for 5,500.
Okay, I got first from Julie, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Billy seconds. Do we have public comment?
Thank God for George.
Yes. I want my kid to go back.
Me too.
Board comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Oh, tell George thanks. Mac will be signed up for his stuff.
Re-signed.
Yeah, she will go back to it. Okay, so the request for the negotiations. Got the letter here. Very last one, contract between the board of trustees and the education association. I wanna request the negotiation be initiated by school district and the LEA. Please inform us when you would like to start the process.
I just found a typo on that too. It should be
We're all about the
2025.
typos.
2025. Not
Oh, I didn't even catch,
You know,
I'm going
that'd
back
be
in
my
time.
fault, sorry. That was
Maybe
a
we
long
should just
time
call it a
ago.
night, try again next month.
Yeah. Let's just try again Monday, next Monday.
This is right in January when we think. Whoops.
All right, so we do need to set up a negotiation, we have to, have 2 board members. I can be available, we need 1 more.
But you're so good at it.
One more, Scott.
Last one, Scott, before you're gone.
But before we do that, do we want a budget before we start negotiations?
Well, we will. We'll have,
But you heard
Yeah.
my comment that if
Yeah.
that bill passes, we will have to have at least an agreement, and a memorandum of understanding by maybe.
So when do you think you would possibly wanna do negotiations?
It would probably have to be that first week in May, and that would be just to get that document signed, that MOU.
And
And
if-
then,
well then Scott wouldn't be
Yes.
able to be a part of it then.
No, because what if, which I have seen before, not get approved? Okay, and then it goes after that, and, when do I run out? End of May?
May 6th.
I see.
Technically not until that following Monday.
But I could maybe start negotiations, but if it doesn't get resolved on that day,
Right.
then we'd have to have somebody come in and take over.
And I will be absolutely shocked if it's, I believe it's gonna go into June. because legislature doesn't end till,
The 30th of April,
and then,
and then everything has to trickle down, and it may take a little while before we get accurate budget sheets. So it will probably fall into June. It's just, with the STARS thing, we have to have an MOU with the union.
And when does their contract end? The end of June? 1st of June?
their contract runs last day of school,
Okay.
which is June sixth.
Okay, thank you.
I was saying, cause yeah, they could do it in July if you had to. I mean, not that,
Oh, yeah.
We've had to.
yeah, not that.
So this year, what was it?
This was
Oh my
September,
gosh.
it was September, it was September.
It was a late one, for
Thank
sure.
God our staff is.
Before
Understanding,
the
yeah.
payroll.
So, me and Julie? You good with that?
Yep.
All right, do I have
No
a motion
complaints.
to approve, Julie and myself, to work, or be the members for the negotiation?
I'll make a motion.
Julie has first, do I have a second?
Second. Scott?
Oh, Scott. How much for Doug? Do we have public comment? Board comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright, motion carried. Looks like you're stuck with us again, Joni.
What's
Third
that?
year in a row.
What?
Looks like you're stuck with me again.
I don't know, it'll be me, we'll see, I don't know.
Is it your name on here?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, this does say 2024, so if we're
Yeah,
going
so
back
that
in
was last
time,
year, so.
I'm not reliving that year. I'm just, right.
Do you want me to print a new one, Kathy? I will do that tomorrow. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
then.
Full of mistakes today, are we?
All right, last one, approved facilities for the bow hunters education. I just need a motion to approve the use of school building, guys, for bow hunters education.
I'll
I
make a
can take
motion to approve the building for bow hunters education.
All right, Doug has the first, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Billy seconds. Public comment?
It will be April 16th through the 18th.
Board comment?
Who's doing it? Instructor.
Nancy, Ken Lumpkin, and I don't know who the other one is. But they've done it before.
Brian Lyon?
Could be.
It was last year.
Any other or board comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright, motion carried. Do we have anything for executive session? You sure? You don't wanna go further?
No, let's go home.
I'm so excited to go to bed. Alright, it is 7:53, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Alright. Scott has the first motion, do I have a second? Second. Julie seconds, any public comment? Or comment?
Well, I have quite a few
I'm
things.
going to punch you. All in favor, say aye.
Well, it's not quite 8 o'clock, we can't end this early.
All in favor, say aye.
Oh, how did we miss that part? Can you do that?
I gotta get the notes, I'm going.
In the face, I said.
Don't forget it in the face, bud.
Oh, we're on camera. Don't worry. Just kidding, I will punch him
In her state, she might even miss.
in public.
Or forget halfway through what she's doing.
Tom's like, I don't know, maybe I do wanna go to Twin Bridges.
Hi, by the way.
Okay, so we won't sign this.
Hey Julie, you know how at one point we had talked about somehow communicating to our retirees that if they're on low income, they can sign up for the
He
tax
signed and then we just
whatever.
read it the first page.
I don't know if that's something that.
Yeah, I just signed, yeah, I'll just
I
say,
think it would
I'll
be,
just change the first page.
even though we've
Yeah,
been
we'll
working,
sign
I've been
on this
working on it for
page,
years
just
down
needs to be the
there.
first